worthwhile side-by-side video. It's not about side-by-side tonight, it's about this Keihin PWK 38 carburettor off a gas 300cc 2-stroke enduro bike that came to me yesterday, and I wish I'd taken some video of the state of this carburettor. Just when I stripped it, the inside of this float bowl, it's clean now, was all white and corroded. All the jets were green. All the inside of the body was all corroded. All the passageways were blocked. And the bloody thing ran not very well. It would tick over, but not very well. And the moment you crack the throttle open, beyond about quarter throttle, died flat on its face. So I've run the carburettor yesterday evening through the sonic cleaner, and I ran it through twice for 15 minutes and then cleaned the entire carburettor, blew it all out, and then decided this morning I'd run it again, give it half an hour, and I upped the temperature to 50 degrees rather than 30, then cleaned the sonic cleaner, put just fresh water in it, and ran it again for 15 minutes just to get any detergent and any other contaminants that may have got trapped inside any of the passageways. Anyhow, we've got it all nice and clean, and what I'm going to do tonight is reassemble it for the lad, and he can come and pick it up either tomorrow or Thursday. So let's start the reassembly process. Right, so we've got the main parts here now. We've got the body, float bowl, the block that holds the jets, the jet block. We've got the drain out of the bottom of the float bowl, slide with needle in it, clean pilot jet, clean main jet. First thing I want to check with a straight edge, there's O-rings here. There's an O-ring seal around there, and there's another O-ring on the back. What I want to check is that these are still protruding from the casting. So I'm going to do that with a straight edge and just lay it. That one is still protruding. I can still see light through to the casting. Them two are visibly protruding, and they are. That's protruding. The reason why I want to check them is you're meant to change this gasket. I can't get one for 2 weeks, so I'm going to reuse that gasket. The gasket, or that block, sits in this part of the body. So that's the first thing I'm going to assemble. There's 2 holes here, and there's another hole here where the screwdriver is, and that one's very, very small. And they all line up with the 2 on that one and the 1 on that one. So that's the first part I'm going to put back into the carburettor. And it's quite obviously where it goes. It goes into here. And it just sits in there like that. That's held in with 2 security Torx bolts. And there should be 2 of them in here, because these have all been cleaned as well. That's a Phillips. For some unknown reason, I've only got 1 security Torx bolt. I'm wondering if somebody's assembled this with the incorrect bolts. He tells a lie. He's found the other one. I don't know if you can see inside there. There's a little nipple. That tells me it's a security Torx bolt and needs a special socket. The Torx socket has got a very tiny hole down the middle of it to locate onto them bolts. So let's assemble this part. Nothing's been tightened up yet, it's just being nipped. These have got to go down even. Don't try using a normal Torx bit on these, because you'll get nowhere fast with them. Can't quite get in with that Torx bit. Okay, I can get in with the right angle, so we're going to nip that one up. Okay. So there's one Torx bit here, and the other one is here. So they've now put the jet block back into the body of the carb. The next thing I'm going to put in, I'm going to put the pilot jet in. This has got some very, very fine holes in it, and that's fed by one of the holes in the bottom of the carb body up into the jet block. Correct size screwdriver is the answer to these, because that goes deep into there. It's buried right down there. Because they're brass, they're literally just nipped. Nothing tight, just nip, nip, nip. Next, I'm going to put in nicely cleaned. It is clean. I'll show you with a light. No, it's not going to work. Believe me, it's a clean jet. That is 6mm. I always use sockets on jets whenever I can possibly get away with it. I always start them by hand. Tighten them up by hand. And that wasn't very tight. That was literally, that snapped the jet. We need a new jet. That jet was so badly corroded, it's broken. Now we're going to have the fun of getting that out of there. Which isn't too much of a problem, because it's snapped. This is the problem when you leave carburetors and let them get corroded. There's the other part of the jet. Now I wasn't expecting that to happen, but there's a lot of corrosion where that's broken. That jet was going to break. Yeah, that jet's too badly damaged. It's too badly corroded to go back in there. It doesn't stop me putting the rest of the carburetor back together. We need to find a 175 Keihin main jet. I know I've got none here. Not a problem. Let's carry on reassembling. This is what happens when you leave modern ethanol fuel in a carburetor and let it sit. This nut, 17mm, it just wants nipping. It's got a washer on it underneath. We can actually put the needle and the float assembly back into this now, knowing I need a new main jet. Put them somewhere safe. needle, float assembly, and the pin. So I'm going to hang the needle off the little prong there. It just sits on there, just hangs there. The needle goes down into here. The pin will eventually go through there. So let's just assemble that. With my dodgy hand, I find things like this quite awkward. Okay, we're on. And I'm going to drop that slowly into there and just let it rest. Then I'm going to find the pin. The pin should just slide in like that. Now I can check. I'm just going to blow through the fuel inlet pipe there. Needle and seat work. So other than that main jet that's broken due to corrosion, bottom of the carburettor is finished. I'm going to put the float bowl on for now, so nothing gets lost. Float bowl only goes on one way. You've got a cutout here and a big cutout there. The big cutout corresponds with this area here on the carb where the needle is, and the other, this cutout, corresponds to this breather pipe. So it's just a matter of dropping that back on and finding the 4 screws there's 1, there's 2, not that one, there's 3, and there's number 4. So we've got 4 screws. They're all the same length. I'm going to put 2 of them in for now, just to hold it together, because we have to figure out this mess of pipes. They all go into that carburettor somewhere. So as I'm figuring out where they go, I've also got to take into consideration we've got 1, 2, 3 little tabs that then pipes have to go through, so they all go in the right place. So I'm going to quickly sort that out, and I'll bring you back when I'm ready with the pipes through here and all the screws. Right, sorted all the pipes out like I said I was going to do. They're all where they need to be. So I'm just going to put them into the appropriate locations now. These two back ones are where I'm going to put them. So I'm going to put them and some screws and put them on. It's a Japanese carburettor with Japanese screws. JIS screwdrivers. They don't wreck the screws. Got to use JIS on these things. Don't worry, I'm not tightening these up yet. They're just screwed in. All this does have to come back together again. I need to take it to bits because I've got to go and order that jet that broke. And that jet is all broken because of fuel being left in the bowl with ethanol in the fuel. Ethanol is the killer of modern small carburettors. It murders them, especially on dirt bikes or small engines like chainsaws and strimmers and that. Because people never ever run them out of fuel. They leave fuel in the carburettor. I'm just going to run these down the holes now. I know everybody's used to these sticking out of the bottom down by the swinging arm. They don't need to. They literally just need to be below the float level. The only one that needs to come down is the fuel drain. It's the only one. The rest of them can be cut short. These pipes are old and hard, but the lad does not want to spend on new pipes, so he gets what he gets. So I'm going to put a zip tie on them. I'm going to zip tie them two together. And I'm going to zip tie them two together. So there's all the pipes. The only pipe left to put on now is the pipe on the drain. I've offered to get him new pipes, but he says don't worry about it, they work. That's the one that has to be dangling. These, they only draw air, so they're quite happy where they are. All I've got left to put in tonight is slide, slides in there. It's not sticking. And I'm just going to screw the top on it for now. Keeps everything together. And that's a PWK 38 reassembled, rebuilt and ready to go back onto the bike. I will, out of the kindness of my heart, put the manifold back on. And tighten it up. Spring and everything down there. That's the manifold on. So that's all there is to putting one of these carburetors together. They're really simple and probably one of the best two-stroke carburetors on the market. They are superb. They just work so well. I hope you enjoyed that. If you like this kind of stuff, let me know in the comments. Please like the video, it all helps the channel. And thanks once again for watching one of my North Wales side-by-side videos.